For today's quant problem, we're gonna look at this one right here. It's a very simple but a little tricky question on ratios. Let's write down what we have already. We have three people: A, B, and C. If we look at the ratios of their spendings and try to write it down, we can say that for A, B, and C, 15, 9, and 8. And if we look at the ratio of their incomes, it's 12, 9, and 7. Just a few key things to keep in mind, key points to keep in mind. When we're dealing with ratios, 15 is to 9 into 8, we always have to keep in mind that when we add them all up, whatever we get, which is 15 plus 17 in this case, which leads to 32. This is not the total, but this is the total number of parts. So total parts is 32. So if you multiply it with a common factor like x, 15x, 9x, 8x, 32x. These are the individual parts, and this is the total number of parts. And when you find the x, you can find the actual value. So in this case, if 32 times say 500 was the common factor, we can say that we just multiply these two. 16,000 is the total salary. And 15 times 500, which is 7,500. Okay. And if you can find the other things, blah blah blah. These are the actual values. Rupee 75 is the income of number A. Anyways, that's just a concept to keep in mind. Let's go ahead with the problem. I'll just write it down like this. Okay. A lot of people get confused as to why these numbers are, like, for example, if you look at 12, if 12y is the income, okay, or let's just say 12, then how can he spend 15? Because how can you spend more than you earn? But that's not the correct way to think about it. It's not as simple as, 15 and 12 numbers aren't telling you the whole story. These are actually just parts of a whole. So when you add this three, you get 28x, 28y, sorry, and here we get 32y, sorry, 32x. When you find the value of x and y, this is going to be a much larger number, for example, right? So this is going to be a much larger number. So when you look at 12y, it's going to be much bigger than 15x. So don't get confused with all these direct numbers. We're dealing with ratios here, which is completely different. Anyways, continuing on with the problem, we have another hint where savings of A is 25% of his income. If we write this as an equation, we can write it down as 56% of whatever his income is, which is 12. Y. 25 by 100 into 12y. So that is actually his savings. savings of A. Another key point to remember is that your income is equal to how much you spend plus how much you save. So using this formula, maybe we can move a few things around. And since we have the savings already, let's try to move savings here. So income minus spend. So savings of A equals to, let's look here, we have 12y minus 15x, and we also have this value which are the same, right? Here. So what we can do is we can just substitute the values. 25% of 12y is the same as 12y minus 15x. I hope that's clearer now. Instead of 25 by 100, let's write it down as 1 by 4, right? And then multiply it with 12y. So this is what we get. So 12y minus 15x. We're just going to simplify the equation now and see what we get. Equals to 48y minus 60x, and then just swap these two out. You're going to get something like 60x equals to minus it there, 36y, and you're gonna get something like x divided by y equals to 36 over 60. Simplifying this, we'll get something like 20, like 6, 10, okay, 3, 5. So x, y is 3:5. Now we found the value of x, and we also found the value of y. What do we want to find anyway? The ratio of the savings of A, B, and C. So we don't really know the savings, but we can write it down quite easily, right? Savings of A, B, and C. A, B, and C is the income minus the spendings. So the income is going to be 12y minus 15x, which is the savings. Okay, income, and this is the savings. Let's do it for B and C as well. 9y minus 9x, 7y minus 8x. Let's write down the value of x and y, which is 5 and 3. If we find the values, we will get something like 60 minus 45, which is 15. Here we will get something like 45 minus 27, which is 18. Here we will get 35 minus 24, which is 11. So 15 is to 18 is to 11 is our answer. The ratio of the savings made by A, B, and C. I hope you learned something new. Okay, go through the problem if you face any difficulties, and see you in the next problem tomorrow.